What's going on, everyone? So the Phoenix Suns were a bit of a disaster this year, right? They get swept in the first round of the playoffs with Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant. They end up firing their head coach, right? Just a lot of questions looming in regards to, what is the future hold for the Phoenix Suns? Can they figure this out? Can they work it out? Bradley Beal, just laid a dud at the end. He was constantly injured. Devin Booker's been dealing with some injuries. Kevin Durant was, pretty healthy last year, but can that continue? Can that maintain? And it's kind of created this question of, can big threes work in the modern NBA? Right? The NBA is trying its darndest to kind of move away from that and kind of keep teams from creating these like super teams. Like the last thing they want is a Kevin Durant Golden State Warriors situation again, right? If something like that happens, they want it to happen, organically, like through the draft, where teams basically are just drafting correctly and whatnot, right? Like that's kind of the idea of what the NBA is trying to flow to. But what I want to talk about, and of course, I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. So let me know down in the comments below about, can big threes work, in particular with the Lakers, right? Because the Lakers are a team that is trying to create a big three. And, a lot of people, I get a lot of comments and see a lot of just live streams and whatnot. People like, hey, big threes, they just don't work anymore, right? Look at Phoenix. Lakers already tried that with Russell Westbrook. Now, there's a big difference between what the Lakers potentially could achieve with a big three and, say a Russell Westbrook and then even the Phoenix Suns, right? As soon as Phoenix traded for Bradley Beal, I said, like, oh, they just signed their death note, right? Because you got three guys that are essentially the same player at different levels. Two of the guys play the same position and have very similar games. You need to have the complementary pieces, right? You look at all the big threes throughout history, they all were very comparable to each other, right? And so the Lakers are looking at guys, Donovan Mitchell, a Trey Young. Maybe they go like a lesser route with like a DeJounte Murray or something like that. But the idea is to go get that guy that raises the ceiling now for them, but also is for like the idea is like, okay, have a big three now, yes, but eventually it's going to transition into that duo that is going to kind of carry the torch going forward post LeBron James. The idea is like, okay, we get a big three now. Hopefully we can win a championship now with those three. And then, LeBron sails off to the sunset. And then now we have a Trey and an Anthony Davis, or Donovan Mitchell and an Anthony Davis. Now, again, I believe a big three can absolutely work. But again, the pieces have to be complementary to each other, right? So take Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. That was never going to work from the start because none of the pieces really made sense and fit, right? Russell Westbrook is best with the ball going downhill, right? He can't really shoot at all. He can be kind of careless. He can't really finish at the rim, right? And he's not the same Russell Westbrook he was, in like the OKC days, things like that, right? And you add that to LeBron, who he needs the ball, and that previous year, this past year this year he was good shooting the ball, but the previous year he wasn't. So it just you basically had two guys that were similar versions of each other that neither could shoot the basketball. But if the Lakers were to get, say, particularly a Donovan Mitchell, I think that makes all the sense in the world, right? Because all three guys have very different skill sets and do very different things that all kind of mesh and work with each other, right? Donovan Mitchell is just that vacuum, just bucket getter. He could just go get buckets. This season, he actually was very good defensively. Can he maintain that? Because now you got that point of attack defensive guy. He's a guy that can be a closer, hit big shots, have big moments, take pressure off Anthony Davis, take pressure off of LeBron James. And then you have LeBron James who can be the playmaker, right? But he can also go get buckets. He's also older, right? And he kind of needs to pick and choose his spots. He can't just, 40 minutes a game, just be relentless, right? But a guy like Donovan Mitchell could. Also, you look at a lot of the teams that are having success in this league. They all have that 20-something-year-old that is just, elite. And Donovan Mitchell would provide that, right? It's also the reason why the Lakers are very interested in a guy like Trey Young, because 25, he's if the Lakers didn't have, like, my concern with Trey is the fit, right? How does he fit around LeBron? Donovan Mitchell, I have zero doubts, right? Obviously, there might be a little bit of a learning curve. There might be a little bit of an adjustment period, but I think ultimately they will figure it out and they'll be fine. Trey Young is the big question mark because he is so high usage. He is best with the ball in his hands, right? He can be inefficient at times. Yes, he can score with the best of them. Yes, he arguably, one of, if not the best playmakers in the game. If the Lakers didn't have, like, Trey Young makes the most sense long term post LeBron because one, his age, to where you could even have him after Anthony Davis, but two, him and Anthony Davis make a lot of sense, right? But again, if you have a big three, do those three pieces complement each other? Right now, you got two big defensive liabilities in LeBron and Trey Young. I know some people like to defend LeBron on the defensive side of things, but he said it himself. I mean, he talked about it in Mind the Game. He doesn't have it anymore. Can he do it in a stretch and in a spot or, to close a game or whatever? Yes. But to ask him to go out there and play defense for 35 minutes a game, that's why he plays the four and kind of plays that scout free safety type role, right? So again, if the Lakers get the proper complement, I absolutely think it can work. Look at the big threes throughout history, right? Going back to even the Boston Celtics, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, right? They all played different positions, had different skill sets, and all kind of complemented each other, right? Ray Allen with his ability to play off ball and just be so effective as a shooter, doesn't need the ball in his hands, right? Look at the Warriors with Draymond and Clay and Steph, and then they add in Kevin Durant, and it's like Kevin Durant, he's so efficient, he can play off ball. Clay can drop 40 and take one dribble. It's just, they complemented each other, right? And they all play different positions. Steph point, Clay 2, KD 3, right? Draymond can play the 4 or the 5, right? You look at Miami, right? Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, right? You had guys that they play different positions, had different skill sets. Right? In the beginning, right, there was questions, can D Wade and LeBron kind of work it out, because it didn't look like they kind of complemented each other enough, but they were able to figure that out because, well, one, you had a prime LeBron and you had a Dwayne Wade who he was just spectacular and dynamic, and but they did have different skill sets. They play different roles in different positions. They're able to make it work. You look at Cleveland with Kyrie, Kevin Love, LeBron James, same thing. You got three different guys that play three different positions, have three different skill sets. Right? So it can work. It can mesh. To me, it just depends on how you construct it, right? And obviously you need the complementary pieces, you need the depth and whatnot, but the Lakers would still be fine in that regard, whether it's Trey Young, whether it's Donovan Mitchell, whomever, right? They would still be 7, 8 guys deep, if not more, right? But again, it's just, do the pieces complement each other, right? LeBron James and Anthony Davis complement each other, right? There's such a match made in heaven, and you're kind of like, man, what would the Lakers look like if LeBron James was 27? Imagine Anthony Davis and LeBron and prime LeBron. I mean, they probably have 3 championships by now, right? But it's just LeBron being in his age and being older, right? But they're just a match made in heaven when they both are on and they both work, because their skill sets really complement each other, right? And now LeBron kind of moving into that stage of his career where he's basically an old man's old man, right? So yes, he's still unbelievable. He's still an incredible talent. He still can absolutely take over during a stretch, right? I mean, we saw it this season. I mean, look at that Clipper game, for example. He not only did he bring us back down 21 in the fourth, but also was locking up Kawhi Leonard and stuff. He still can in spots. And that's why a third guy does make a lot of sense for the Lakers, because LeBron can kind of just coast throughout the season, pick and choose his spots, kind of quote unquote be the third option. He's never really going to be the third option, but he can kind of play as such and then kind of take over when he needs to take over, right? Kind of okay, you guys handle it, right? Even if it's Trey, right? It's okay, Trey and Anthony Davis, you two got this for you know, 40 of the 48 minutes, and I'll just kind of trickle in here and there. And then, I'll just have this like 8-minute stretch where I just take over, right? Because that's kind of what he prefers and what he wants to do. Then obviously it comes with sacrifice and all that stuff. So I think the Lakers can put together a quality big three and win. And the Lakers are more likely than not going to do that if they can, but we'll see. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Do you think that the Lakers can put together a big three and actually win? Do you think no, like the big three era is over? Again, how you feel, whatever your thoughts are. I love to hear it, so let me know down in the comments below. That being said, give a like this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. I enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.